how deep you are in this process. And then suddenly, these wounds are stimulating this sense, this sensibility, this perception. And at a certain moment, you start to feel, to hear this internal call from your higher I am, from your God, which is inside of you. Absolutely. And this is the moment for real beginning.
Let me ask you a question.
And you become the one who is taking the part in this, let's say, in this universal process of self-cognition.
Okay, Valery, let me ask you a question. Are you sometimes worried about these technologies and tools ending up in the wrong hands? Basically, is it guaranteed that the ones of Horus are going to lead you to the right avenue and path of a positive, higher recognition and development? Or is it an amplifier? Let's say if it ends up in the wrong hands and not so a good individual, and they start to manifest a little bit, a negative inner world, and affecting a neighbor, this world. So, are you worried about that sometimes?
No.
Or it's guaranteed it goes to the positive.
Let's divide this answer into two parts. Yeah. Actually, all ancient technologies we can divide in two main parts. I would say simple tools like the wands of Horus, special, what we now call as in souls with copper and zinc inserts and the pyramids. Yeah. Big complexes, because, the wands, they are influencing and stimulating individual. But pyramid complexes, they can stimulate big, huge, vast areas and humanity. So we divide the situation in two parts. Let's talk about little bit, just shortly about the ones. When somebody, the bad people, usually they do not use the ones. Let's say those who are engaged in material life, and they are not interested in, and they are fighting with each other for money. They are fighting for the place under the sun, all this, like this. These people are not interested in this instrument. So there is no problem.
Yeah.
But if you just imagine that one or another person from this group, they will start use this type of instruments, stimulating your internal world, your internal energy, and they will be working with it just 20 minutes per day. I cannot predict the result. But if they will really start working a few hours per day on a continuous basis, using the natural sources of energy like trees, like water, like mountains, then I'm sure that internal energetical changes which will take place and will be stimulated by wands will start to open internal worlds, and those internal fight between negative and positive will be vivid for the person. And as long as I see, mostly people will stand on the right track. They stop smoking, they stop drinking, they quit negative bad habits, and they become better. And what is important, you will see that their appearance become different. They become much younger than they were before.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting moment.
It is very interesting, yeah.
This is not only a bonus. This is the choice.
Uh-huh.
The choice which you do inside of you, and this is the choice which you do before the eyes of the God. I'm not religious person completely.
Yeah.
And I would like to make it clear for all people who are listening to us. Many times when I was asked on Russian TV about my relationships, let's say, with the God, or they asked me, Valery, listen, do you believe in God? Really, just tell me openly. I said, no, me, I don't believe in God because I know that he exists. But my God, which I know exists, and actually my life is devoted in a very serious part to learning and recognition of him. My God is different. It's not what people know or think about it from different religions. No, my God is different. I explained a few minutes ago how I see the God, and I'm not only agreed with this theory which I have found in ancient texts. I understood it, and now I'm working for one reason. I'd like to share the knowledge with the people because, interesting. Very, very shortly. Sorry that I'm talking so long.
No, this is
but
important.
It's interesting that on 1977 in Russia there was a very interesting UFO case, and I have published this piece of information on my website.
Yeah. And
if you go on http://w and so on, newpyramids.ru.com, you will find there its material. That was the case when a very high level representative of outer space civilization was talking with a Russian scientist, microbiologist, with a lady, Suraya Gainulina, her name was.
Mm-hmm.
And she was absolutely, like communistically, tuned brain, but she was a scientist.
Yes.
That's why this highly developed representative of outer space civilization,
yes,
being able to read her mind, he started to talk to her on the language and on the level of understanding that she had in her head.
Yes.
So during the conversation, they came to the point when they start to talk about love. What is love? And here, when he was explaining what means love for them, he said the following. He said, in our civilization, in our understanding, actually in the universal understanding, love is exchange of information. Mm-hmm. And he said, only those who really love spread around them the knowledge, the light of knowledge, so that the other people wouldn't live in the darkness of ignorance. And I was so amazed by these simple words that what I'm doing now, I'm just sharing with people, with those ones who are really interested, those knowledge which I have filtered out from ancient texts, and I learned. So those ones who are interested are more than welcome. Those ones who are still not, well, it's okay. The time will come.
Okay. So the 120-year mark, sorry, I keep coming back to that. I mean, what's 120 years? It's around the corner. The ones who are not interested and the ones who are interested and have been working so hard, are they really? Do they deserve a negative outcome? If the ones who were interested and worked so very hard, well, that's the thing. I do agree with you. It all depends on how you look at it.
There are many, many people in this world who are not responsible or even for their families, from their lives.
Yes.
The question which you asked me now, this is the question for the people who are feeling responsibility for the future of our civilization, of the future of our planet. First of all, our civilization, and for the future of our kids. In ancient Mayan texts, I think many people encountered knowledge about 5 years, 5 periods, which ended by very heavy catastrophic events. And that periods were 3,000, sometimes 5,000 years long. Investigating ancient texts, especially Egyptian texts, and I'm first of all talking about the catastrophic zodiac, which is very well known as the zodiac in ancient Egyptian temple, which is called Iunta-Nechet, or how we know it as Dendera zodiac. This Dendera zodiac contains exact information about history of our planet Earth and solar system within the last 40,000 years. And out from this text, it is clear that for the last 18,000 years, there were 3 asteroid impacts. One of the awful, terrible asteroid impacts took place 13,671 years ago. And I call it Azor asteroid, but actually it was a planetoid. Even reading Chinese texts and the other texts, it is clear that they are talking about a small planet which have been flying over the planet Earth, and then it was a collision. And after this collision, Atlantis disappeared. Hyperborea disappeared. 2,500 years before, huge land, like in size almost of the Pacific Ocean, which people sometimes call Lemuria. But in some texts it's called just Pacifida. Mm-hmm. It was huge asteroid impact, and for one night it killed 64 million people. And the last asteroid impact took place around 800 years ago. I'm talking about Santorini explosion. It was asteroid impact exactly in Santorini volcano. Mm-hmm. And just few words about the middle one, which took place 13,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? Our planet lost its orbit.
Right, yeah.
Before it was 360 years, 60 days, the cycle around the sun. Now it become 365.
Yeah.
All these awful events I have described in my book, the Pyramid Book.
Right.
And according to these calculations, we are coming to the date, the same type of event, which will happen approximately in 5-6 generations. It means 120, 150 years. And it's going to be another asteroid impact. Before, nothing like this will happen. In spite of all these, scared warnings which our astronomers are giving us each year, that one or another asteroids are flying, in a few years it's gonna fall, forget. It never happened for the last 100 years. Mm-hmm. And it won't happen within the following 120. Mm-hmm. But in 120 or 150 maximum, it's going to be very, very serious asteroid impact. And why I'm talking about it? We need to get prepared for that. If we take into account the actual political situation now in the world, well, all countries are playing strange games, and we are fighting Russia with America, America with Russia, blah, blah, blah. It's clear that we are not ready, we are not able to spend even a minute thinking about our future, about our kids in 120 years.
Absolutely.
We are not even thinking about humanity, what's going to happen with it.
Yes.
It means we're not going to spend a penny for investigation, for getting prepared for this event. And if, I'm sure, it's my personal opinion, if we would just imagine that suddenly, like after a sacred shower, cold shower, people would stop fighting, thinking, oh, really? It's gonna happen something awful. We need to do something. And they start to do something. We have a very short period to get prepared, and what is important, we have no technologies.
Yeah.
We have technologies just to kill each other.
Yes.
But not to defend against asteroid threat. Remember what happened on 15th of February 2013. I'm talking about the asteroid explosion over Chelyabinsk in Russia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It appeared just for 1 second. Boom! The explosion over the city, 30 times more strong than 2 bombs thrown on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Mm-hmm. Nobody was killed. But explosion was kind of a vacuum explosion. It means all people in the city had to die. And by the way, we have many cases like this.
Right.
It means that this particular event took place under somebody's conscious technical control.
So, you're referring to HARP technology, of course, and this is what we're going to get into the second hour. I already know where you're going with this, even though we haven't discussed it before. You as well. What we're going to go over is the timelines you mentioned. What is happening?
But before we start to do this, I'd like to bring forward important idea why I have started to talk about it. If we see that there is something on the planet Earth which is acting, for defending the planet, it means there is a special technology, but this is not earthly technology. It's not we, not Americans, not Japanese. No, somebody from parallel dimension or whatever, doesn't matter. So it means somebody is very close to us. And I see only one way out of the future negative situation. We need to find contact with those ones who is using this technology. And I deeply believe that it is possible. For this particular reason, we have started to build the pyramid complexes in Russia. Not just to make all grown up, inhabitants of Russia, to make them more spiritual, better thinking or whatever. No, first of all, we are thinking about kids and we are thinking about students. There is technology, there is a way how to create within the following 10, 15 years maximum, a new generation, even 2 generations of people with unbelievably high level of spirituality, mental and energetical abilities. And this group of people will be able, and what is important, will be accepted for communication and contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. And this is only one way, it's my opinion, this is only one way how we can install relationships with this civilization, how we can learn a little bit more about technology. But these technological devices, they are situated here on the planet Earth in our dimension.
Right.
And by the way, Chinese already found something, and they are developing the knowledge about it. And we need to get also access to this knowledge. And this is only one way how we can get prepared for this.
Absolutely. Very good. Okay. We are going to get into that now, the second hour, very, very thorough.